Hey, Mr. Clash here with a little bit of a game review on a game called Titan Attacks. It's a little bit of a remake of the old Space Invaders game, you could say. They've taken Space Invaders and they've turned it into a little bit more of a modern version. Now the goal of Space Invaders, of course, was you had a bunch of enemies sitting at the top of the screen. They didn't do too much, they just dropped bombs on you now and again, and they moved from left to right. Once they got to the right, they dropped down a level, then moved to the left, dropped down a level, moved to the right, and so on and so forth. So the goal was you take out the side of the enemy that is going to hit the side wall first, because when you do that, you stop them from going down a level, getting closer to you. This particular game is a version of that, and so we're going to have a little bit of an overview. I'm not going to do too much of an overview and just basically review gameplay and see how you go. So let's begin. I'll click play and I will select the Earth as my thing, and here I go. Now I am playing this on a gamepad. It's a computer game and you can buy it from G2A for like less than $1. I think it's like $10 or something if you buy it directly on Steam, but on G2A it's not very much money. Now every time you do a round like that, you see I shot the saucer at the top, I get a little bit of gold. We come down to the shop and I can upgrade my weapons. Now have a look at my tank on the right hand side. You'll see these little silhouettes coming up. Those particular little silhouette things coming up are add-ons. You can see it's 2,000 for an add-on. I don't have any add-ons at the moment, I've just started. I have a few shields and I'm just going to increase my gun power and go from there. So gun power's increased, come down, click continue, and just start shooting again. Now you can see that my gun is making a slightly different noise. Now the thing with this particular game is, of course, as it was with Space Invaders, I can only shoot once my once my single bullet has reached the top of the screen or hit something. Well, so just hitting that particular target gave me a little bit of a shield. Now at the moment you might think, yeah, this isn't much of a game. Just like Space Invaders wasn't much of a game, but it does get a lot harder as you progress through this game, as you go through from Earth to the moon. Okay, so that's the cash I've got. I don't have enough cash to do anything, buy a shield or gun power, and that flickering on the screen is just part of the game's sort of retro feel. As you can see that the graphics are actually pretty good, but they're made to look like they're retro. Now that little thing that you just saw coming down then was an alien. So some of the ships, they don't blow up, they sort of fall. If I can shoot them while they're falling, then I get extra bonus scores. But little alien decides to bail out, and if I get that little alien that bails out, I get extra money that I can spend in the shop to upgrade my gun, upgrade my shoot more bullets. So at the time I can just shoot one, so there we go. A little bit of a skill bonus. I shot that one while it was falling. You can see that these ones at the moment are taking 2 shots to kill, but when I upgrade the gun, they'll take 1 shot to kill. And this is pretty well the gameplay. It will get a lot harder as we go on, to the point where it's like, there we go, I can increase my gun power now. If you can manage to avoid getting hit, that really helps you in this game, because you don't have to spend money on shields every time you go to the shop. And then you can spend it on gun power or extra bullets instead. There we go, got the little parachuting alien. So now I have to just essentially wait, try and shoot everything twice here to take it out. So we start off, like all good games, start off a little bit easy, just so you can get a feel for the game. And then once you get that feel for the game, they get a little bit harder and gradually harder and harder and harder. So all pretty good games have that thing about them. Now you can see I've reached some magical point that says we need to increase the speed. So not just something randomly flying across the screen at the same speed all the time, which means you always have to be adjusting your judgment on getting your little bullets up to the screen, up to the top of the screen to shoot the things that are up there. So wave completed. This game also does have some challenge rounds. Now at the moment, challenge rounds are actually a little bit difficult. What they do is a bunch of flying saucers come across the screen and you have to hit them. That's pretty well it. And when you do, great. If you can shoot them all, you get some kind of prize, but shooting them all is not really that easy to do. So I should be having a challenge round soon. Again, I can't actually buy anything at the moment, so I'll just continue. Now you can see that these guys, every time they hit the side of the screen, they come down just a little bit further. So I need to, that's the ones that are just going left and right. Just like they did old Star Wars, the old Space Invaders days. They just went left, right. These stationary guys obviously take a little bit longer to hit. And here we go, I captured another alien. And yeah, another bonus. So this is pretty well the gameplay over and over. No, I don't think I'll buy a shield just yet. I'll see how I go with the if I can keep on going without actually spending money on a shield. When I get higher up, I will have to buy a shield because I just have to. It gets too hard to continue in the game without a shield. Now the idea of the shield is that it basically means how many times you can be hit. So a shield allows you to get hit once, and so if you have 4 shields you can get hit 4 times, and later on in the game, here we go, I've got a challenge stage now. Shoot all the saucers. Yeah, not too easy. They fly at different rates. Oh, and they do that dodging stuff. So I'm not doing too good on the saucer challenge at the moment. Oh, that's probably it. Probably hit about 4. Oh, there we go. I hit 4 out of 12. So that's pretty terrible, really. And there we go. So now I go back to the shop. I will increase the gun's power because that is the smart thing to do, I believe. Whoops. And you can see these big stationary guys, what they're doing by being stationary, they get in the way of me being able to shoot the things at the top. So I do have to knock them out. So yeah, there's a little bit of just press the fire button. There is a little bit of that. And a lot of the time you are just dodging what's coming down. And you still need to line up the bullets, of course, to make sure you can hit the things that are traveling across the screen. But I'll get him. Yep. Okay. Well, a little bit hard on the gamepad. I'm using a gamepad. It's normally a keyboard game, but I'm not really too good on keyboards. Playing with keyboard games, so playing with keyboards on these things. I can't get my left, right to work properly. So if I can get the game to work on a gamepad, I'll do that. And I'll see if I can get that saucer at the top. That doesn't really give me anything that I can spend in the shop. And look at that. The alien escaped and I got penalised 100 in cash. So even though I went ahead, I actually kind of lost out. So we just keep repeating this. Each wave you can see is a little bit different. So it's not just the same wave, like in Space Invaders it was the same types of aliens all the time. There wasn't really anything too much different about them. These guys, they all behave a little bit differently. Oh, I should have shot that one. And get him. Yep. Now, unlike Space Invaders, when the aliens reached the bottom, it was game over. In this one, they reach the bottom and they touch you. And they just take away a shield. And obviously, if there's a lot of them, they take away a lot of shields. So I've just increased my bullets, so I can now shoot 2 bullets. which is pretty handy. And these ones that are going up and down, they're actually really quite hard to hit when there's only a few of them left in the game. They're really difficult to hit because they get too fast. So it's just a matter of trying to just send some bullets up and hope for the best really with these guys. Oh, got me. Got him. So there, I got hit, so I'm going to have to buy a shield now. I don't really want to, but if I let my shields get too low, then that's game over for me. Now in this case, you can just see I just got hit again. Just not quick enough. You pretty well, as soon as the level starts, you need to be firing or moving or something like that. So I got hit by a shield, and I'm going to have to keep buying shields. At some point in the game, you really need to make sure that if you don't spend money on shields, then you can get more bullets and increase your gun's firepower. And that is what keeps you in going further in the game, being able to buy more firepower and more shield. So I've got 1600, I can buy a shield or firepower. I'll buy firepower, and I've got 2000 to get the next shield, 3200 for the next increase in my firepower, and shields are 400. So from this point on, I'll probably be buying a few shields. So you get these little levels that aren't too hard, not too hard to do these ones because they're moving nice and slow and there's lots of them. So just finger on the button, just shoot everything. It's just take you out your frustrations for the day just by blasting some aliens from the sky. Just send a volley of bullets up. And missed him. Missed him again. There we go. Challenge stage. Of course, I'll do badly on this challenge stage as well. Don't usually do very good on these challenge stages. Oh. There we go. Oh, probably about 12 or something. Oh, 11. Got 11 of them. Okay, still no prizes. Oh well. Extra smart bomb. Okay, so we got a shield. So I will buy a shield now. See if I can survive without the losing any more, and then I can get extra bullets in the game. So you can see I've got different types of aliens, and they are shooting different things at me now. Oh, that was lucky. Now you'll remember that earlier those flying saucers at the top were taking 2 shots to kill, and now they just take 1 shot. Ah, see that? That little ground bomb that he dropped, when it activated, I just ran into it then. So I'm going to have to buy another shield again. So you can see that every time I buy a shield for 400, that's 400 less on my way to getting extra bullets to help me stay in the game further. So yeah, it's a little bit slow on the controller then. So I'm not sure if I lost a shield. I don't think I did. Okay, just got that one. So yeah, another wave complete. So the waves aren't that long, but you can see that the game is gradually getting harder and harder to progress. Okay, now these guys are slow, but obviously I just can't just get underneath the middle of 2 slow moving things like that and just take them out all of a sudden. Okay, another wave completed. So all the waves, as you can see, the gameplay is getting progressively harder, and that's just obviously a good sign of a good game. If it gets progressively harder, because if something's too easy, we just tend not to play it very much. And also if it's too hard, we tend to give up as well. Okay. So even though these things are standing still up there, it actually starts to get a little bit harder. When you get to the moon, it'll probably say Earth secure, so we can come to the moon now. And when you get to the moon, the aliens change a little bit, and you also start to get asteroids or meteorites coming down at you as well. So the whole thing just starts to get progressively harder and harder. So you can see now that where I was being able to shoot these things with one bullet, it's now taking two to kill them. So back to the shop, nearly close to being able to increase the number of bullets I fire. Obviously being able to fire more bullets is pretty handy because you can just shoot more things. Okay, didn't really want to kill that little parachuting alien, but had no real choice. The alien mothership. I don't like this alien mothership, so if I can beat this, that will be Earth secured. Now, as you can see, there's 4. Oh dear. You can actually damage this mothership independently of its outside guns. Now, obviously the thing with the shield, you can see I have four shields, which is really good for me. You can actually take out the outside guns of this mothership there, just like I just did then. I took out one of its outside guns. I don't know how to judge yet whether you can take those guns out. I haven't seen, I'm not sure if there's any kind of sequence, because I've taken this mothership out once or twice with guns intact and also without guns. So, and when it goes over to the side like that, it's very hard to, it needs to be, there we go. I got it, so that'll be Earth secure. Yep, there, Earth is secure. So now I'll be traveling to the moon. I have enough to get some more bullets. So I'll get some bullets, and got the bullets, and I'll get another shield. Now I'll probably be just needing to do shields. So I've got my extra bullet, so that's good. And you just think, oh yeah, with extra bullets, yeah, this game's just become too easy now. No, not at all. As you can just see, there was an asteroid that just came down out of the sky. So back to challenge stage straight away. I missed that one. Oh, I missed all 3 of those. I don't know, about a dozen. I probably got about a dozen. There we go. Yeah, I got 12. Got 12 of them. So I just won an extra shield. So that was nice. And I can buy an extra shield, and I will do that. Because now shields matter. Shields matter a lot. As you have asteroids and things coming down at you, you have these things trying to shoot you from above as well. There we go, asteroid coming down. So it's very hard to, starts to get a little bit difficult to, oh, that's not a very good position to be in. See, I just lost a shield. Got myself in a corner that I couldn't get out of, and even though they were moving slow, I couldn't do anything about it. Just wait for them to come and get me and hope for the best. So I lost a shield there in that. So you can see that once you start the new level, you really need to try and you need to try and get straight into the game. So if you can have your hand, I'll buy a shield, and we'll just see how, if I can maintain that shield, then I can possibly buy an add-on. And when you can buy an add-on, that's when you really have a good chance of doing well in this game, of getting further in the game by buying the add-on. Because the add-on becomes an extra weapon on the side of your little tank thing that's on the bottom. So I can't, it's very hard to just move something very very slightly with the gamepad. So I'll deal with those in a minute. I'll just take out this big guy at the top and then I'll deal with these other ones. Okay, got him. Yeah, we reach, there's ones that come up a little bit later. They don't do circles or anything like that. They are totally random and they are very hard to hit. Just like this guy's being a little bit difficult to hit as well. There, got him. Okay, so I don't have enough for another shield, so we'll just continue on straight with this gameplay. So you can see that there's really no resting. Once you start that continue button, there's no resting for you. It's straight into the game. And yeah, generally don't buy the smart bombs. I did try buying the smart bomb, but I kept accidentally pressing the button. And while it does blow up everything on the screen, and sometimes in a stage like this where you have just a bunch of flying saucers that are flying around, the whole stage is ended. You don't really get any cash for it. You don't get any prizes for it. I will buy, that's it, my shields are full, and we'll see how long I can last with that. Okay. As you can see, that they're how they behave is different. Each of them behaves a little bit differently. It's got me. So I bought that full shield and I lost it straight away. Now, did something just blew me up there and I didn't see what it was. Okay, need to pay attention to that. So as you can see, compared to the start of the gameplay is increasingly more and more intense. So it just gradually gets harder and harder, lulls you into a false sense of security. I've got another challenge stage at the moment. You can of course move your ship at the bottom with these challenge stages. Oh, I can't hit anything here. Oh, that's terrible. Probably hit 6. Oh, look at that, I did, I hit 6. So, it's nice, I'd rather have the cash instead of the points. Now I will buy another shield. Just like to have shields up my sleeve, and we'll try and go for some extra bullets now. If I can survive long enough without needing to spend too much on shields. As you can see, these slow guys, they might be slow, but you still have to deal with them. Oh, look at that. I got concentrating too much on the blokes at the top and I've lost 2 shields. So that's how quick the game can just turn against you. 460 cash and I don't have enough for another shield. And I lost some cash because I let the little alien escape, and I've just lost another shield. And I just lost another shield. Another shield, and that's it, game over. So how quickly the game changes. I'm doing so well, I've got 8 shields, I'm doing perfectly, and I'm all done. So you can see my score there, number 2. When I started adding the scores, I did have a few little games earlier before what you can see is listed number 7, and it wasn't really taking the score, but that's okay. So you can see obviously at number 1, that's a pretty high score level there at number 1, but that took a lot to get to, a lot of gameplay that's not listed on the high score here. So I'll just enter that, we'll consider that done, submitting the high score. Now if you want to have a look at on this particular game, you can see where my score at number 1 stands in the high score in I guess that's everyone that's got this game. So you can see that that's the top score coming down, that's 6 million. So I'm not even 500,000 yet. So keep coming down the list, keep coming down the list. 1.4 million, and I should be there almost. There I am, number 62. So my high score ranks me at number 62 on the list of people that have the game and have actually submitted high scores, which is, I think it's pretty good considering I haven't played the game that much. So that is a little bit of a gameplay sort of a review on Titans Attacks. It's actually quite a fun game. So obviously I just finished and I could just start playing it again, but we'll call that for this video, we'll call that done. And I will keep playing just for myself. You can see that you can adjust the volume in the game, you can go full screen, or whatever you want to. I haven't chosen full screen, I've chosen the option to do full screen myself by pressing Alt and Enter on my keypad, being a computer, being a PC game. High scores you've seen, and about just gives you a retro style shooter on steroids. It's a winner. So that's not really telling you much about the game than you couldn't otherwise get. Help is simply your menu telling you what your keypads are about, and the different little bonuses and things that you get for shooting, whatnot, and that's it. Very simple little game. Now on Steam, I think it sells for about 10 bucks, $9.99 or something like that, and obviously every now and then it's on special because that's what Steam does. But on G2A, you can pick up this game for about $1. So for $1, it's a pretty cool little game. If you want it from G2A, I'll put a link in the description below where you can just go to G2A and pick it up for $1. Of course, when you buy a game from G2A, it gives you a key that you then use on Steam to download it. So instead of buying it from Steam for 10 bucks, you get the key from G2A and go to Steam and get it from Steam. The key you buy lets you download it from Steam, so you don't have to buy it from G2A and then buy it from Steam. You just buy the key once, and it's an access key to download it from Steam. Anyway, that's it for Titan Attacks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.